So if you've ever been pregnant, you know that first doctor's visit can feel, well, a lot like a pop quiz you did not study for. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly why every single one of those questions is a crucial part of building a safe and healthy path for you and your baby. Right? You've just gotten this amazing news, you're on cloud nine, and then suddenly you're hit with this tidal wave of questions about your periods, your job, your family history. It can honestly feel less like a checkup and more like an interrogation. So what is the deal with all that? Well, here's the inside scoop. Your doctor isn't just ticking off boxes on a form. Think of them as an architect. And with every answer you give, they're drafting a totally personalized health blueprint, a custom map designed to navigate you and your baby through the next 9 months as safely as possible. Okay, so where does this architect even begin? They start with the foundation, which is your personal pregnancy story. You see, any previous experiences you've had aren't just memories. They're actually the most important clues for what might be ahead on this journey. First, let's break down some of that medical jargon you might hear. The word gravidity. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's just the total number of times you've been pregnant, period. Doesn't matter what the outcome was, this is the big picture number. And then you've got its partner term, parity. Now, if gravidity is the total number of pregnancies, parity gets a little more specific. It counts only the pregnancies that went past the point of viability, which is 24 weeks here in the UK. This number tells a much more detailed story. So, how does this look in the real world? Let's say you're pregnant right now, and you've had 2 babies before. Your chart would say G3, P2. Simple, right? 3 pregnancies total, 2 carried past viability. But what if you're pregnant now with 1 previous birth and 1 miscarriage? Then you'd be G3, P1 plus 1. That little plus 1 is just a quick way to note a pregnancy that ended before 24 weeks. It's a medical shorthand that gives your team a snapshot of your history in just a few seconds. But look, those G's and P's, that's just the headline. The real story is in the details. Did you have a preterm delivery before? That immediately flags your team to provide extra monitoring. A previous C-section? That totally changes the conversation about this delivery. And any past complications, like preeclampsia, that puts your entire team on high alert. You see, every single detail from the past is a lesson for the future. All right, so with that historical foundation in place, the blueprint can now focus on the present. It's time to map out the specific journey. And like any good map, it needs a destination. And in pregnancy, that all starts with figuring out a due date. Now, you might think your due date comes from your last menstrual period. That's kind of the old school way. But that method assumes everyone's body runs like a perfect clock, which we know isn't true. The modern, much more accurate way is an early ultrasound. By measuring the baby from head to bottom, the crown rump length, doctors can pinpoint your due date with incredible accuracy. And that's so important because it helps avoid all the stress of being told your baby is late when they might be right on time. Another key detail for this early map is about folic acid. Why the big focus on this one supplement? Well, because taking the recommended 400 micrograms, especially during those first 12 weeks, is one of the simplest, most powerful things you can do to help protect your baby against major birth defects of the brain and spine. It's a small step with a huge impact. Okay, so we've mapped out the pregnancy itself. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture, your overall health. This is the bedrock, the landscape that the rest of this blueprint is built on. Any existing medical condition you have is an absolutely critical piece of this puzzle. You know, pregnancy puts your entire body through a kind of stress test. So conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure can get amplified, and that can impact both you and the baby. Knowing your full medical history right from the start means your team can build a specialized care plan just for you, right from day one. And, you know, your physical health is just one part of the equation. Take a look at this number, 25%. What could that be? So what does that number mean? According to a major report from the UK, that's the percentage of maternal deaths between 6 months and a year after birth that were caused by psychiatric issues. This is exactly why your mental health is never a side conversation. It is essential, non-negotiable part of your safety and well-being. This same intense focus on safety is why you'll get asked about every single pill, every supplement, even herbal teas you might be drinking. It's all because of a concept called teratogenicity. It's a big word for a simple idea. The risk that a substance could harm a developing embryo. And that risk is at its absolute highest in the first 12 weeks. So your doctor really needs to know everything you were taking even before you knew you were pregnant. And finally, the blueprint looks beyond just you. It looks at your family tree. Why? Because, well, genes are a family affair. Certain conditions like cystic fibrosis or sickle cell disease can be passed down through generations. By understanding your family's health history, doctors can figure out any potential risks for your baby and make sure you get offered the right screening and support. So we've covered past pregnancies, the current one, your overall health, but you are so much more than a collection of medical data. The final, and I'd argue, most crucial pieces of this whole puzzle are about your life, your support system, and your well-being. Now, these next questions can get deeply personal, and that's because a healthy pregnancy depends on a healthy, supportive environment. How are you really feeling about all of this? Who do you have in your corner? Are you worried about money? And yes, questions about smoking or drinking, they're not about judgment. They're about opening a door to get you help if you need it. And most importantly, you will be asked about your safety at home. The goal here is simple, to make sure there's a complete circle of support wrapped all the way around you. Okay, we've gathered all these different pieces. Your personal history, your family's story, your current health, and what's going on in your life today. And yeah, it might feel like a lot of random information. But when you put it all together, it assembles into something incredibly powerful. A clear, personalized path to a safer and healthier journey for you. And this, right here, is the ultimate goal of the blueprint. It lets your medical team kind of see into the future, to spot potential risks before they even become problems. It lets them move beyond a generic checklist to create a plan that is built just for you. It is all designed for one thing, getting you and your baby to the finish line safe and healthy. So you see, that first big appointment isn't an interrogation. It's a collaboration. Every answer you give isn't just data. It becomes a tool, a shield, a vital part of your own care. Your health story is your superpower. The only question left is, are you ready to share it?